Okay, so here we are with match one, game one of a recent league I played. We lose the die roll. Now I'm going to be doing this league a little bit differently. This is a league that I had a particularly rough time in. I played very poorly, and on top of that, I just basically punted my entire way through the league and did incredibly badly as a result. And we're going to start seeing that happen from the word go up here. So I'm going to basically just be going through today and going through all my stuff ups and all my punts and show you where I start to really badly tilt. And what we're doing here is we've seen that there was a Chancellor trigger at the beginning of the game. So we're going to fetch up Underground Sea, we're going to probe, we're going to pay for the probe, and then we're going to decide whether or not we burn a pedal to therapy him. And you're going to see here that unfortunately Magic Online doesn't always show the triggers for Chancellor as clearly as we might like. Look, it shows it up in the text box up there, up to the right, but we have to be carefully reading through there to notice that there's a double Chancellor trigger. Otherwise, where it displays, where it notifies you that it happens up near the left, up near our opponent's avatar, it only shows as if it would. It's the same as if it was one trigger, so we completely miss it. So basically, we've already punted, and against red-black, which is one of our absolute worst matchups. So we've just gone on to what we would have been much better off burning a pedal here, and then probing, as at least the probe replaces itself, and gives us information that we can decide about whether or not we want to use our therapy. But now we're just left in the dark. And so, of course, we're not going to pay for these. I'm a little bit dumbfounded as to what the hell is going on and deciding whether or not I just try to pay and then hope that the other one was just a mistake. And you can see me trying to work it out for a while there, and I eventually get there. And now we've got a therapy that we pretty much need to fire this off blindly, otherwise it's going to be useless. Now, based on what he's done, it does look like, so what he's done with his Faithless Looting. So he's Faithless Looting and immediately dumped 2 Chancellors. So it looks like he has a Dark Ritual based hand. So we're expecting something like Dark Ritual, Reanimate, and Animate Dead or Exhume, so that he can have both back straight away. So based on that, we can either therapy a Dark Ritual or a Reanimation spell. I'm not sure which is correct here. We're going to therapy for the Dark Ritual in this particular case. And you get to see one of my favorite things about therapy, which is that if you can get a sense for what's going on, you can usually hit big. However, unfortunately, it does still leave us with two reanimation spells in hand. Now, fortunately, he's only on a single land, so at the moment, only one of those is live. So it's only the reanimate, and we might actually be able to, after he reanimates, win through that. You can see we've already got the tendrils in hand, so if we draw a little bit of mana, we might be able to just basically generate enough mana to play through the Chancellor, build up to, I guess, 5 Storm and 5 mana, and win from there. Unfortunately, we're not really drawing anything. So we're going to need to play out the Petal here to set up. And just to try to get on board. Okay, so our opponent finds a second Reanimate, which is bad for us. Although, actually that could be worse. We now have to play through 2 Chancellor triggers, which is pretty awful. But on the flip side here, we only have to hit 3 Storm. So what we can actually do here is we can play out the Petal. I'm trying to figure out whether or not we can Storm off now. So realistically, we need to get to 5 mana next turn. And 3 Storm. So normally we can, with Tendrils, let the Chancellor triggers just counter the initial cast copy. But in this particular case, we actually can't. The reason being, normally you can just let it be countered and just let the Storm do its work. Obviously the Chancellor triggers won't work on Storm. Here we need every copy. Unfortunately here, I think no matter what we draw, if we draw Dark Ritual, we are mana neutral. Cabal Ritual leaves us on 4 mana, which lets us cast Tendrils. But, okay, so basically here we're stuffed. So, if we'd drawn a little bit more mana a little bit earlier, I think we might have been okay. But here we've just been out Chancellored. So we're just gonna have to scoop it up. On the sideboard, we will bring in, we'll cut our therapies, or some therapies. We'll bring in 2 Echoing Truths, 2 Flusterstorms, and a Petition. And we'll cut a therapy and a land of some sort. So I do that just because therapy's kind of weak in the matchup. It's only good early and only good if you can guess well. We got pretty lucky in the last match. And what do I end up with here? So I wound up with a hand that is, it could be a turn, if we draw a tutor off the top, it winds up being a turn 2 kill through the Chancellor trigger. And so what we're going to do this turn is play out a Lion's Eye Diamond. We do this in case we get Thoughtseized. We need the LED online. We're really hoping to draw exactly either in... look, Infernal Tutor, Ad Nauseam, or Dark Petition all get us the win next turn. And our opponent Thoughtseizes us. So that's fine. We actually have Past in Flames in hand. We have basically 1 card off being the nuts. And we draw an Infernal Tutor, so we get lucky. So here I think I would have gone with just about anything, even if I just drew a ponder or something. I think I would have been tempted just to see if I can find it. The reason being it's we don't, our odds don't really get any better from here. And we kind of have everything already ready to go. So anyway, we got lucky. We hit. We hit exactly what we needed. And we're going to make some terrible typos in the text box. And we'll just, yeah, ritual out and go for the lethal tendrils. No need to be too flashy or anything here. And over nice and easy. And so we're going to move on to game 3. We're just going to run back the same sideboard plan. No point in changing anything. We've got everything we need, which is a little bit of disruption, some ways to remove his crap from the board, and as much business as we can pack in, knowing that there's no grave hate. Our hand looks a bit slow, but solid, and we're on the draw. So if we probe into, if we like draw a ritual and then probe into a ritual, that's a win. Alternatively, if he doesn't have the turn 1, we do have a duress and a probe, so we actually have some interaction. So we can burn a probe into a Chancellor trigger if needs be, which we don't see. But yeah, unfortunately, he just goes for Griselbrand, which we're actually sort of okay with here. He can draw 1,000,000 cards, but I think, okay, so here if he doesn't, I don't think drawing the second 7 was necessary. I think if he doesn't do something pretty interesting here, we don't have the worst odds of just killing him. Yeah, okay, duresses us, so we'll take the tutor. So now we need a little bit more. So at least now we're not going to be worried about storm count for a while. Cool, he passes the turn. He takes our LED, which I don't think was... Oh, maybe it's okay. So here, I don't know if there's, I guess we take the animate dead here. Because the reanimates, it's not worthless, but it's nowhere near as good. Actually, okay, so here we can potentially, if we're echoing truth, the animate dead on Griselbrand, then we can't duress animate dead, which still leaves us in trouble. So I think we end up having to try again. So just to put it, so what we've tried to do is we tried to brainstorm into a win here because we don't really need a huge amount. Unfortunately, from where we are, he has Iona and he has Chancellor. So neither of those are unbeatable on their own. And possibly if we left, maybe the correct play was to leave Animate Dead in his hand and let him cast Animate Dead on whatever he chooses and rebound both Animate Deads when he attacks. Nah, I don't think we have any good options here. So I think we're going to end up just chucking some cards back and trying to ponder. We'll probably chuck back the Echoing Truth, and I think maybe the land might have been correct. I can't remember what I did, but we'll find out in a second. Yeah, okay. So we do that in kind of the hope that maybe we hit something like Dark Ritual, which I'm not sure if it gets us there. 3, 6, 5, 3. No, it doesn't. And we just draw a land. So I don't know if that was correct. I guess we need to get it out of our hand one way or another. We'll take the Animate Dead. We'll leave them with just Reanimate so that they can, whatever they're going to do, they're going to be on a low life total. But they'll probably just Animate Dead Iona, and that will likely be GG's. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we can do to come back from this. This is him just taking everything we have, and meaning that if we pass the turn, we die. So whatever, not much we can do. And we'll just call it there.